On a day 75 years ago that saw chaos and death, there were the stories of the aftermath, the people that came forward as heroes, came forward to help, came forward because they cared. One of those stories was that of our late Senator Daniel Inouye, who was home on that fateful morning, getting ready for church.
And he heard a loud announcer on the radio hysterically saying, "Pearl Harbor is being bombed by the Japanese. This is not a test, this is not a test."
So he runs out into the front yard with his dad and sees Japanese planes flying in formation overhead with thick black smoke and clouds billowing out on the horizon.
And so shortly thereafter he gets a phone call, and it's the Red Cross. Daniel Inouye was a Red Cross volunteer trained in first aid, and they needed him that day to help with civilian casualties. So he grabbed 2 pieces of bread, bicycled all the way to Lunalito School 1 mile away, and didn't come home for 5 days.
A little more than 3 years later, Daniel Inouye would find himself in the fight for his life and those of his comrades in Europe. He would lose his right arm fighting Germans in Italy.
He told us the story of, after his arm got blown off during the war, he opened his eyes and the first person he saw was a Red Cross volunteer, and he was so grateful that he was safe and that someone cared about him.
He was just one of many who answered the call with the American Red Cross to bring assistance, relief, and hope for many who would need help in that day and in the days to follow during World War II. Just imagining that he just bikes that far to go help. He's gone for days and doesn't come back. And then later on, that story about how he would be wounded and he would be comforted by a Red Cross worker in Europe.
We always remember what he did for us as a senator. We should never forget his service with the 442nd Regimental Combat Team and all the Inouye and the sacrifices they made as well within World War II. Yeah. All right, thanks, Billy. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back from Pearl Harbor on the 75th anniversary. Be right back.